Hi, everyone, and welcome back to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. This week, powerful African-American female musicians who are here representing Black women band directors in all facets of education. We'll find out what made Trevor say,
"You better watch that conductor. You better watch those hands, making sure you're following the pattern."
And why Jacqueline said,
the next day saying, "What day's the concert? What time do I have to be here?"
Oh my God, I can't.
All this and more on this week's episode of On a Water Break.
8 off the mat and go.
Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
Hi, everyone. It's Nicole, and this is our final episode of Black History Month. But it's fitting because we have all females as our clinicians tonight. And we have next month being Women's History Month, so it's a good lead-in. So let's call this just the lead into that, the lead into Women's History Month. Before we see who's on the sideline this week, I want you to go and subscribe, hit the notifications on all of your favorite listening apps, and write us a review and share us with a friend. You got a question or a good topic to talk about? Email us at onawaterbreak@gmail.com. Or find us on social media and DM us if you want to be on the show. We even have a form that you can fill out now if you want to be a guest. We love hearing from people on the podcast, so check us out on that link that's in our social media. All right, let's see who's on the sidelines. Trevor, how has the start of the semester been for you?
I have been well, my friend. It's great to see you again.
Yeah.
The start of the semester has been wonderful. Obviously, as a band director, you try to hit the reset button coming out of winter break. Sometimes it's easier than said. We've had our first spring concert, like last week here at Northwestern State University. We're in the midst of show designing for the fall already. We have picking leadership applications are about to go out. Man, it's just fast moving, but we do it because we love it, right?
Right. You're doing all the things. And hopefully, please make sure you get some just rest.
Oh, yeah. I love sleep.
Right? Please don't mess with my sleep.
No, at all.
All right. Well, we have certainly kept these amazing women on the sideline for long enough. Please welcome from Margate Middle School in Broward County, Florida, it's Delisa Rufus. Next up, you may also know her from her TikTok as That Band Teacher Lady, and she is certainly a friend of the pod. She's from Franklin High School, Miss Jacqueline Hurston.
Hello.
And finally, the Assistant Athletic Band Director at Florida State University, it's the amazing Dr. Devin Moore.
Good evening, everybody.
Hey. Oh, I'm so happy to have y'all on. Oh, my goodness. Now, Jacqueline, lucky you get out of the whole 32 count life story because you already did it. But sorry, Delisa and Devin, you got to do it. It's what you do when you come in here. You got to play. Okay. So the way this works out is you get 32 counts on the mat, 8 counts, and you're in. And you got to fit your whole life story in there. Just talk fast, y'all. Okay.
Okay.
You can. So Delisa, you ready to go?
I'm ready. Yes.
Yeah. You get 8 counts and you're in.
Okay. All right, my name is Delisa Rufus. I'm originally from Tamarack, Florida. I went to Tamarack Elementary, Rambwood Middle School with John Nista. I also played softball at Rambwood and Taravella. I went to Broward College. I was in strike percussion from 2009 to 2013. I was on vibes for 2 years, outside marimba for 1 year, 2 years on center 3 marimbas. I was a front ensemble technician for Hollywood Hills High School, Western High School, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, and I was a front ensemble technician for Strike 2 in its inaugural year. And I'm engaged to be married. Yay!
Oh, she did it, y'all. It's okay if you did. That means you're just prepared.
Yes.
Good. See, I love that. When people are, I'm just rolling off the dome. I'm like, no, you're not. Stop lying.
She hit us with the elementary school, and I just died.
I know. That's what I was like. I'm just going to clutch my drink for a minute. Good job. All right.
Yep.
Doctor. Yeah, hope you can follow up.
This will be off the dome.
All right. Well, here we go. 8 counts and you're in.
From Tallahassee, Florida. I'm a second generation band director. My dad taught high school, middle school band for 30 plus years. I started playing saxophone in 6th grade, and with high school was drum major in high school. Went to Florida A&M University, where I was section leader for 3 years. Graduated after not wanting to be a band director at all, and somehow made it back there. Went to taught middle school band for 7 years. Got my master's at Florida State University. Got my PhD from Florida State University. Went and taught at Oklahoma State. Now I'm back at Florida State.
Yes.
That was good too. She got it right on the dot.
Nailed it. What a great release. Like off and down for Dr. Nice job.
Oh, I love it. So normally this is where we do the news, but since we have such an incredible panel, I told the producers that we were diving right in, if that's okay with everyone. Yes. Also, before we even dive right in, Jacqueline, how do you think that, compared to when you did your 32 counts?
I think I would have cracked under the pressure because it was really off the dome when I did it the first time. So congratulations. I would not have done that. So good job.
Fantastic. All right. So like I said before, I just wanted to dive in so we can get started. I wanted to start with the Association for Black Women Band Directors and how that got started. Dr. Moore, can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I can. So in 2020, as the world was shutting down and we were all sitting at home trying to figure out what life means, all these people are separated. I tell this story all the time that I went home. It was the first year my graduate degree, my PhD, and we went home and they said, we'll be back in a week, have a concert the week after spring break. And then we never came back. And some people literally told me that I couldn't I had just figured out what I want to do with my life. And people were telling me we can't do this anymore. So I imagine that 1 million people across the world are also feeling the same thing. And so Myra wrote in, who was at the time a high school band director down in Georgia. She put out a message on Facebook and was like, hey, I'm creating a space to just talk and exist as if you identify as a Black female band director, here's a Zoom link, show up and let's talk. Show up however you want to, come in your bonnet, come in whatever. And so we met on Sunday afternoons. We met consistently every Sunday starting in May of 2020. And I think somewhere around July, we looked around and realized, number one, we didn't know this many of us existed. Most of us are by ourselves in whatever space we're in. And so it was really refreshing to be able to just be in a room full of people that look like you, that do the same thing as you. And so sometime around July, we've met several times and just gotten to know each other. Somebody put forth, hey, why don't we make this a thing? Make this an actual thing for us, by us. And if for nothing else, just to be in the same space as us. We don't actually know what we're going to do beyond these social gatherings, but we know we need something in this space and time. It was really important for us to function in that way. And so we set up all the necessary things to become an official organization. And we came up with the name Association of Black Women Band Directors. And we've been functioning as an organization with the executive board, whatever the nonprofit status, all of those things. We've set up special projects. We're about to release our first commission. And so it's just been wonderful. We've been able to support, we've been able to support a number of female band directors and help to get supplies for their classroom. We've sponsored student memberships. We've put on a professional development clinic. And so we've been doing the thing and just trying to let other people that look like us know we exist and we're here to help you. Because I know from personal experience that it can be very lonely out here in these band director streets as a Black female.
Man, that was just a lot of just great information. It feeds the soul that, people have, Black women have that outlet now, or have another outlet, another resource to be able to, meet people where they are, like-minded people look like them who've gone through the same experiences most likely. And that's just so encouraging to listen to as a Black man, just making sure that as my dad says, like the sisters are taken care of. It makes you feel good as a Black man, just watching your sisters like thrive, So I have a quick question, Devin, like how do more Black women get involved, like in your organization? Is that something they can do to get involved, or a place where they can meet you or join a meeting or join the organization?
Absolutely. So we have a Facebook page that's open. You can search us, Association of Black Women Band Directors. Black Women Band Directors. We're also on Instagram, so you can find us there. As soon as you've gone through the proper protocols and answered all the questions, you'll be accepted into that group. And we do have members that are not Black female band directors, people that just want to support the cause and the effort that we're moving towards. We also have a website where you can pay for membership. Right now, membership is $50 for active band directors. It's $25 for retired band directors, and there are a couple of other levels of membership. Then we have student membership that is $20. So all of those forms of communication are viable ways of getting in touch.
Dr. Moore, I do want to tell you that I have been a member of the Facebook page for a while now, because I will tell you the way that you formed the female Black band directors page and how y'all got together was the same way I got together for the cookout. So it's another initiative that I've put together. So it's funny how through the ether, through the atmosphere, we're all doing the same thing. And it just touched my heart when you were talking about it, because I was just like, we were all there. But I love this. But before I even go on anymore, Woody, thank you for coming. So late.
Speaking of the cookout, somebody was late to the cookout.
Right.
Mr. Woody.
I guess I was on CP time.
He did. No, he did.
Yeah, I did. But what had happened was...
Well, we're happy to have you here right now. Thank you, Woody.
It's good to see you, my brother.
I just want to kind of piggyback on what Dr. Moore said. Honestly, I was on Facebook because I was a little lost, just because this is my first year as a teacher, band director, and everything. And I know there's not a lot of female band directors, and there's not a lot of Black female band directors. So I went online on Facebook and I was researching band directors, female band directors, and I came across the Black female band directors page on Facebook. And I actually reached out to Dr. Moore recently, and she helped me out through a really, really tough time. And I just wanted to thank her for that.
Oh, that's not true.
Thank you.
That is what you do. That is what you do.
That's got to be a tough thing, because, when I was an assistant band director, the woman who was a band director, we would always put it to the test. We get to a show or performance or whatever, and the person would run on the bus and they look, and there's me and there's her, and they're like, I don't know. And she was white, I was Black, so that even made it even hard. Well, but they would always choose me at the end, and she would be so mad, like, well, watch they pick you because you're just a man. Just to hear your whole thing with the Black women's band director thing, I think that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Help each other. Mm-hmm.
So I have a question now. I want you to tell us more about this podcast and what it's been like getting that going. So, because, we're no strangers to getting a podcast going over here, and that's for sure. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so probably about a year ago, our communications manager, Jamie, had the idea to just tell our stories, have a space where we can get out of our circle of influence and put our stories out into the world. And so she did just that. Jamie is great with putting together all of our visuals and anything that goes out to the public. And so she took that on herself. She actually had one of our student members as her co-host. So it's really cool. And they just ask questions, and some of it is, prescribed questions, but as one does with these podcasts, you get off on a tangent because they just want to get to know whoever they're interviewing. It's an opportunity to just get to know somebody. Maybe the people that they're bringing on are like the people that that they've looked up to for a long time. And so that's just an hour where they just get to talk to their hero or get to talk to, somebody they looked up to or somebody they want to be like when they grow up.
Speaking of, someone that people can talk to, can you walk me through, are there any specific resources or programs that the organization offers to address like unique challenges that, Black female band directors deal with on a daily basis? Or there's something that kind of stands out that people latch on to kind of help them get through the day, as we were kind of talking about earlier?
So our coordinator for special projects, Monica Fogg, she's the music fine arts director in DeKalb County. And she's put together a number of different efforts to help people in unique situations be able to overcome those challenges. So we've got classroom sponsorships that we've done. We've done a fundraiser to help buy books for the classroom. So we're working slowly but steadily to have a greater impact on our music community, for sure.
That's awesome. Like we said earlier, it's great to have those resources that help teachers out in the class, especially for simple things like the needed materials to have a successful learning atmosphere, something that you would think that would be kind of basic, but some of us don't have access to all the time or don't have that district funding. It's great that an organization like this can step in and fill those holes. That's just awesome. We were talking about the podcast earlier. I have one quick question about the podcast as well. Do you have like your fondest memory of what you say you've been going for it for about a year now? Do you have a highlight that stands out about the podcast, or maybe a really funny moment or like a aha moment that you want to talk to us about?
So I don't necessarily run that podcast. I've been one of the interviewees, but I stay on the back end of the things. I just get to listen to it.
Well, maybe something you've heard on there. They're like, oh man, that was inspiring, or like,
Oh, you asked me to go through the Rolodex of all the stuff that's in my brain. I just got home from a week-long trip 2 days ago, so I'm still unpacking. I apologize. I don't know that I can pinpoint one singular thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just the fact that it's there, I think, is obviously important. So that's great that we're able to sit here and talk about it. So yeah.
But wait a minute, Trevor.
Yeah.
I'm going to call somebody to the table now.
All right.
Oh, Jackie. Good evening. Can you tell me anything about your experience? You're really you're making me curious because you're hanging in the background like Devin was talking about. You're hanging in the background.
She's been here before, that's why.
I'm just taking it all in.
Taking it all in, huh?
Yeah. So I've reached out and been a part of the association. I remember when it first started. I might not have been at the first meeting. I can't remember. I know there's a picture somewhere from like the first meeting that we did, the Zoom group photo. So I did join when they first started. It was great to see that there were more people like me. I mean, because I know like where I am, there's not a lot of people who look like me doing what I do. So it was nice to be able to see that there was a group that we can like, talk with and roll ideas off with and just chat. And especially during the time when it started, like, everyone was all isolated and alone and questioning, is this what I want to continue to do, or just life in general. So it was nice to be able to meet up with these ladies on Sundays every so often and just talk and chat and make sure that we were all okay mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. It keeps you centered. Most definitely.
I'm a huge fan about checking in with people. I mean, honestly, Trevor, that's why I was like, hey, make sure you rest. But I have so much more to ask. But right now, we got to go pay some bills. So we're going to go to a commercial.
Oh, not the commercial.
Celebrating its 25th anniversary, Guard Closet was founded as a consignment shop in 2000. Since then, it has grown to become your one-stop shop for the marching arts.
Do you need consignment uniforms and flags for your color guard, marching band, or drumline? We have thousands of sets of consignments in stock and ready to ship.
Do you need show design and custom choreography? Our designers have years of experience in the marching arts.
Do you need to sell your items and clear out your storage areas? We take in more than 600 sets of consignments each year and return hundreds of thousands of dollars to our consigners for their sales.
Do you need to have your students order shoes, gloves, and other equipment?
We can set up a microsite for easy student ordering of a wide variety of items.
Do you need custom costumes or flags? We can help get you great designs from our team through top vendors like Show Day Designs.
Have you listened to our podcast On a Water Break? Weekly episodes and bonus content keep you entertained and informed with what's going on in the marching arts.
For over 25 years, Guard Closet has been here to help. Check us out at guardcloset.com or follow us on social media.
All right, and we are back. I do want to let you ladies know that once upon a time, I was a band kid, and one of my big dreams used to be a band director. Of course, sometimes you keep going with your dreams, sometimes you don't. I did not. However, I wish that I had a band director that looked like me because it would have been different, I think. But I still love band, but I love more that you are here and you are doing what you're doing. Now we're going to go on to the question. So what I want to know is from each of you, what was the moment that you knew that you had to be a band director? Because I knew what mine was, but I want to know what yours was. Go with Delisa. Yeah.
Yay. Hello. So it's actually really funny, my story, because I was on the elementary school music teacher route up until May of last year. I went to school and I did my internship, my student internship at an elementary school. I actually forgot to mention that my mother was a music teacher for 30 years. God rest her soul. She actually passed away January 20th, 2011, in the middle, like right a week before premiere night, because I was in strike percussion. So that was about a week before. But she was from Ohio, and she was the biggest supporter that I had. So I looked up to her a lot, but she actually showed me what it was like to love music and the kids and everything. And she actually wanted to become a band director. I was not very confident in myself yet, even though I loved music and I went to school at FIU, Florida International University down in Miami. Go Panthers. Yay. But I wasn't very confident in myself because I didn't see a lot of people that looked like me. So when I graduated from FIU, I was looking for a job in the Broward County area, and I was looking for elementary school jobs. And I was sitting on the couch with my stepson, who's 12, and he's in middle school now. But I'm looking, and I'm just like, I don't see anything. I don't see anything. And I was getting a little nervous because I graduated December 2023. So it was in the middle of the year. But then he was just like, well, there's a band director job at Margate Middle. And I was like, I don't know. I'm not too sure. And he was like, but you know how to teach kids, and they love you and everything. And I'm just like looking at him, and I'm like, I mean, let's just see what happens. Like, mind you, I'm thinking like, there's no way that they're going to call me because I wasn't as confident yet in myself. But a few days later, after I sent in my resume and everything else, I got a phone call back from the principal, and she wanted me to come on an interview. I remember the end of May because my birthday was the beginning of May. So I just remember that whole month of May being like, okay, this is kind of crazy. But I went on the interview, and I was like, this principal looks familiar. I can't put my finger on it. And I went home, I looked in my middle school yearbook. Happens to be that this principal was my assistant principal when I was in middle school.
Stop it.
I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy and everything. And I remember she used to say hi to me every day, and she used to call me Miss Band or something like that. It's been long, it's just, so I'm on the interview, and she was like, hey, why should I hire you? And I'm just like, honestly, I know this is my first year. I know, but I work really hard at something that I'm not, have never done before. So this is all kind of new territory for me. So then she actually was like, oh, we'll be in touch. So I go home to my fiance, and I was just like, this is the best interview I ever went on. Even if I don't get the job, I feel really confident. A week and a half later, she called me and was like, listen, I want to give you a chance. I want to give you this chance. And I was just like, I was speechless. I actually sat on the couch, and I hung up the phone. I was just staring at the floor, and he was like, did you get the job? And I was like, yeah.
That's what's up.
What an amazing story. I absolutely love that. It just made me smile the whole time.
Thank you. It was kind of like I wasn't expecting it. And after I got the job, I'm now thinking of things I want to do and this and that. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. I called every single band director friend that I know because I have been that person like on the outskirts, like a little bit behind everybody else, just because I had to deal with a lot of things growing up and everything. So I didn't do like the 4 years of college or 4 or 5 years of college for music education. It took me, I want to say, over 10 years to graduate with my bachelor's in music and everything. So it's been a long journey,
But
but
you got it.
yeah,
It matters. You got it. You
I
got
did
the
it.
paper.
I'm really super proud of myself. But the moment I think I wanted to become a band director was like really just like in it. And I was like, I'm not never going to elementary ever. Was after my winter concert this year. And I saw myself on video and I was like, man, that's somebody I don't recognize. And I'm like, hello, nice to meet you. My name is Mr. Fizz. So
I love the stories. Jacqueline, tell me about, when you first knew, hey, I want to be a band director.
So I enjoyed when I helped my section and other friends in high school. And I kind of got the inkling, like, okay, maybe I want to go into teaching music or something. It was already like the back burner of my mind. When I went into college, I initially went in as a performance major, but at some point, I really can't say exactly what, but I was still helping people. I was still taking the ed classes. At some point, I just got tired of the idea of being a performance major. And I also have performance anxiety sometimes. So I was like, you know what? Let's just put this to the side and go the music education route. But the kind of cool thing is where I went, we had to get both. So I still have the performance major along with the education major. So it just was a mix of helping other people in music and also not wanting to perform.
You know,
You did what was best for your mental health. I love that.
it's kind of funny because, with my students, they're in the 12th grade and they're talking to me, I want to be a performance major. And if they haven't really been out and about by the 12th grade, I'm like the harsh mirror of reality. I'm like, listen, that's probably not for you because if you were going to be a performance major, this would have been going on about 3 or 4 years previous to the day you're talking to me about it. So you can do what you want, but I would suggest you look at another outlook. And some kids take it well. Some parents think, don't you think that's a little harsh? Later they come back, thank you, Mr. Woodward. But I understand your story.
And you can always be a performer. I tell my students all the time, you can be an educator, you can be a performer, you can be a composer. I think getting the education degree for me, it's just a more stable foundation in our profession, just historically, right, guys? But I know my music education friends are incredible musicians who do the symphony thing, or like they record, they have their own little social media pages where they record themselves playing, or they're part of jazz trios and whatever. And it's just, you can use education kind of as the bedrock of everything and just kind of spread out everywhere, in my personal opinion. So,
Well, I think that Jacqueline has actually done that, that band lady. It's funny. I still watch you, okay? I follow you. Not in a creepy way. It's just that you're on social media. Anyway, Dr. Moore, can you tell us about the time when you were like, yes, I want to be a band director?
So I ran from it for a long time. I mentioned earlier that my dad was a band director, and I was like, I don't want nothing to do with anybody else's kids. You can't pay me enough to do that, so I'm going to do the furthest thing away from that. So I started at FAMU as a computer engineering student, and as one does at FAMU, when you're a musician, you are in the Marching 100, and so I did that. I had a blast, and I'm supposed to be at the E-School, 3 times a week, and I slacked off. Quite honestly, the moment I should have known that I was supposed to be a band director and not an engineering student is when I got a D in calculus. That should have told me right there that this ain't for you. You're not cut out for this life. So
But in all honesty, I was fortunate enough my freshman year to make the top ensemble at FAMU, who was preparing for a performance at the American Bandmasters Association convention, as well as the HBCU consortium, the national convention as well. So we were preparing for two national conventions. And I found myself, we were having rehearsals 6 days a week, twice a day with the wind ensemble. And I loved every second of it. I hated going to the E-School, and I realized, Devin, stop playing. Like, just, you want to be around all the people that are doing the same things that you enjoy doing. And so after a year, I changed my major from computer engineering to computer science. And then that summer after my freshman year, I changed my major to music education. My life got better. My grades went up. Everything became super easy, and here I am.
There you go.
In our profession, is so much better for it. So, I think Mr. Woody has a question for y'all.
Yes, I do, because I find this one kind of curious for myself. It's like a two-part. First off, what music inspired you to want to be a band director? What kind of music? And then two, do you take that same inspiration you had and introduce your kids to that music because you know what it did for you and how it opened up your mind to want to be a musician?
Look at Woody being a journalist, y'all.
That is a good question.
Oh, it's better than
I'm playing. That was good.
Oh, I stumped the room, huh?
Can you repeat one more time? Can you repeat that first part of the question?
All right, the first part is, what type of music or piece of music inspired you to want to be a band director, love music? What set the flame?
I would have to say Michael Jackson, like Jackson 5 type deal. When I heard Who's Loving You, like,
okay,
that one, I heard it and I was like, I remember, oh my goodness, I was like 7 years old. In my room, I would record myself trying to sing like Michael Jackson. I was singing like, glory, glory, hallelujah. I was all into that. And I was just acting like I didn't know what I was doing. And I did not know I was going to want to be a band director. I just love music. So any type of music that is from like R&B to like doo-wop to rock and roll to pop, anything is just that caught my ear. I adapted to it. I didn't see any like one thing for me.
With the second part of that question, all right, you know the kind of genres that you like, but do you now try to introduce that to your kids? Because I feel like the music that you listen to is what dictates your style on the instrument. I constantly preach that to my kids. Like, well, there's no right or wrong way. It's just your interpretation of music. And I think a lot of that happens from listening. So do you open up that door for your students?
I would have to say yes. I have to slowly open the door. There are certain students that are
definitely.
Yes, like, because they were like looking at me like, Miss Rufus, Beethoven, Mozart, what are you talking about? And I'm like, it's funny because Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, the last, what's it called? The fourth movement, Ode to Joy, it is one of obviously the most commonly played like song, saying movements everywhere. Like the first beginning band plays it and everything. But the second movement, I'm a huge wrestling fan, by the way. So we watch that every Monday, every Friday, every pay-per-view, ever since I was 8 years old. So I love the theme songs every single time. And one time we're just watching, me and my fiance and my stepson, and I heard this like song and I was like, I know that song. And it was the second movement in the Ninth Symphony and everything, or Beethoven's Ninth. And then they put rap to it. So it was just like, I got a vision I see in my head, melody. I was like, oh my God, that is crazy. So I actually introduced that to my kids and I was like, do you know what that is? And they're just like, no, like you, Miss Rufus, is some classical stuff. Then they started hearing the rap part because I didn't just play it for them. I actually rapped it for them. And that's when they got interested.
Funny you should say that. I'll wait till the applause is over because that's important. But I have a young percussion program, and we're doing Beethoven, and we're doing selections from the ninth. And for the Ode to Joy, I wrote it with a jungle music feel behind it, and the kids are loving it because they couldn't understand how that was all going to work. But when you sing the Ode to Joy, and you just think, any kind of uh, jungle music kind of groove, it fits in there like a glove.
It does. It
It
does.
does.
I actually, so sorry, but like I actually wrote a school song to Ode to Joy just because I like to like write down, like I journal and everything just because I like to do it. And I just started writing down these like lyrics like a while ago, I think during the pandemic and stuff. And I had nowhere to put them. And I'm just like, I don't have a job yet. I'm still like trying to get through school. And then I wrote down like these lyrics when I got the job, like I put them all together and I put it to Ode to Joy and stuff. And it works because my drum set player, like he's in 7th grade, he plays for church. He's just laying down these like fat beats. And I was like, yo.
Nothing like the church drummer.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Cool. Okay. It was good to hear that. So I'll ask, we'll start with Miss Jacqueline. I'm going to ask you a question. How about, can you talk to us about, maybe your biggest aha moment as being an African American woman, a Black woman in the profession? Maybe a moment where you feel like maybe you connected with a certain student, or you realized, a big achievement or a big light bulb kind of went off. It just, wherever your latest aha moment was, could you talk to us about that, Miss Jacqueline?
Sure. I'll say I can't speak for everyone, but I know certainly for myself, again, in the area that I am, I'm one of only a few that look like me, even whether male or female. And as isolating as the job is, and of course, being who I am and what I look like, you always have those questions. Am I doing this right? Am I going to be accepted by everybody else? Am I teaching my students the right way? My aha moment has been recently within the last couple of years. Now that my program has grown and my students, their level of achievement has also grown, is seeing that I'm actually doing the same things that my counterparts, no matter what gender or what race, that they're doing, and they're being successful in their programs. Because for the longest time, because I've been teaching now for like 12 years, for too long, I was questioning if what I was doing is right. And now that I'm seeing my students are able to get up to the same level, or they're on the right path or the same path as the bigger schools or the like super successful schools, it's like, oh, I've been doing this right the entire time. It was slow, but it's been right. So I mean, that's kind of in a way a selfish aha moment, but it's still an aha moment. Like I know what I'm doing, and I don't really have to question as much anymore what I'm doing.
Exactly. Let that imposter syndrome go somewhere else.
Yeah, get out of here. You're in the spot you're supposed to be in, and this moment is for you, Ms. Jackie. What about the marching arts? We can't leave without talking about challenges of being a Black person and trying to lead the marching arts, especially a Black female leading the marching arts. Dr. Moore, lay it on. What are some of the biggest challenges that you run into? You be as real as you want to. I'll be right there with you. Let's go.
So for me, I know people see me in a position. I tell them I work with the marching band of Florida State. If they don't know any better, their first question is, so y'all about to be doing the stuff that the Marching 100 did? No. There is space for everybody to do the type of things that they do in their respective spaces. Like the Marching Chiefs, we play talking out the side of your neck. A lot of people, their first introduction to Marching Chiefs was 5 years ago when Chandler Wilson had the same position. And I was a good friend of mine who is now the director of bands, but they assumed that Chandler brought it. Well, no, the Marching Chiefs been playing talking out the side of your neck for the last decade. Like, let's relax and not assume that just because I'm Black, I'm going to introduce a dance routine. Can I do that? 100%. Did I do it for 5 years at a very high level? Absolutely. I'm in a new space. And I got to understand my audience, and so with that, understanding your audience, the audience that you're performing for, and making sure that you are not, while yes, introducing some of your thoughts and ideas, understanding that like every audience isn't receptive to everything, and so making sure that you're doing the necessary things for who is in front of you, and that might be different from this halftime performance over here, or this pet band performance that we have over here. So I think that's the biggest challenge for me currently. Also, my background in middle school band has taken me on an interesting journey. I taught middle school band for 7 years. I didn't have my own high school band, and now I've landed myself in this athletic band space at the collegiate level. And it's because I worked very closely with the high school band. I was an assistant band director record. I did not spend 8 hours a day on a high school campus, and that is by choice. I never wanted to. Those students from age 14 to 18, they got a little something special going on, and that's not my people. Students from 11 to 13, we can rock. And so that's another challenge for me. And that's something that I had to get out of my head, is that like, it's still band. It's still just band. So like my first time running my own marching band, I did a marching honor band in Oklahoma. My first summer out there, right? It's like all these rural schools from Oklahoma, Texas, and Kansas. They meet up somewhere at Northwestern University. Yes, Northwestern University, middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. The sweetest kids, but it's like a marching band of 250. It's crazy, and they meet for 3 days, and it runs just like an honor band. Like I had to write drill for them. I had to choose music for them. But that was my first time running a marching band. And just before that experience, like I got that imposter syndrome set in. And this is after a year of me working with a college marching band. Like I've been doing the job. But that imposter syndrome set in. It was like, Devin, you ain't never done this before. Well, I've been doing marching band since 2003. Like it's all still band, and I know how to do band. Mm-hmm. And so let's go get this job done. And we had a great time. The students had a wonderful time. And then after that experience, I went back to Oklahoma State Cowboy Marching Band. It was like, let's rock, folks. Mm-hmm. Let's go. And now I get to do it here back at home.
Nice. See, if you love it, then you know what? Let it go. However, I know it kind of seeps in sometimes, so I completely get it. You got to be the one to like be your biggest cheerleader sometimes. I do want to ask this question of all three of you. Being a band director, what's your favorite thing, or what do you love the most about the marching arts and about band?
Oh, come on now, people.
This is easy for me.
Go ahead.
If you want to take a couple seconds to think, Delissa. For me, it marries the best of both worlds for me. I played basketball growing up, and so and I'm super into athletics. So it marries band and athletics. Like I get paid to go to football games and go to basketball games, and that's the part that I enjoy. And the type of social engagement that you get to have with students, that you're expected to have with students in that space, it's top tier. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So the best thing about being in the marching arts and being a band director, honestly, it's this right now, connecting kind of the dots and everything, because Dr. Moore, you mentioned Chandler Wilson. He actually gave me my first job and everything. And I think I just came out of JP Taravella High School, Coral Springs. And again, there's not a lot of people in the marching band that look like me, or in the concert band. And I'm like the only one in the wind orchestra, which was like the highest band that we had at the time. And like my band director at the time, Neil Jenkins, gave me a solo xylophonia and wanted me to perform it at the John Philip Sousa concert for at Broward College. And so I was like at rehearsal, and I'm practicing because I went there for like 2.5 years, and I just see some guys at the side just kind of staring just like this, and I just look up and I was like, hello. And I'm 18 years old. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. And he was just like, you got a job? And I was like, well, I'm an after school like child monitor and everything, and I'm also working at Taravella like after I graduated with the front ensemble. But I mean, not really. He's like, I want you to come work for me. And I saw a different side of marching band. So like it was very like awakening for me, because I'm like, why haven't I seen this before? Why? This is so much fun. Oh my goodness. So I got both of those worlds like in the same year. But like, I just think it's funny that we all kind of maybe know somebody that knows somebody, and we all are kind of connected. But
I oftentimes say that the marching arts is like West Virginia. Everybody's related.
that is
I love that.
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline, what you got?
It's kind of a two-parter. One, I love the inclusivity of the marching art. Come as you are, no matter what you can and you can't do, there's going to be a spot for you. You don't know your left from your right, here, join the front ensemble, hold a triangle. We can do something for you. And then I also like the fact that it can challenge like your perceptions of not only yourself, but other people, like what you think that you can do or should do. It just, you come out of it as a totally different person.
I love that. I love that.
We'll see that for sure. Most definitely.
Okay, everyone, let's get back out onto the floor so our guest clinicians can get into sectionals.
Marching by Montez is a visual design business based out of Raleigh, North Carolina, but provides services to ensembles all across the country. Our services include custom drill and staging for marching bands, indoor winds, indoor percussion, and winter guards, as well as custom band and guard choreography for all 3 winter idioms and marching bands. We now offer program coordination for ensembles throughout the U.S. and custom graphic design for all of your uniform, props, flags, and floor needs. In-person and virtual program consultation options are now available through Marching by Montez, as well as custom sound design for your indoor winds backing tracks, winter guard soundtrack, and show soundscape needs. Visit us at marchingbymontez.com, contact us at joey@marchingbymontez.com, and check us out on social media at Marching by Montez.
Okay, everyone, we are starting a new segment called the 60-Second Tech Block. Each week, one of our hosts or guest clinicians will be forced to give a 60-second tech session with the section needing the most after the last run. Okay, so basically, our special tech this week has to choose 3 topics, and then they have to think of something to say for 60 seconds nonstop, like a nonstop speech about it, and maybe help some people out there. Maybe. But this week, we're bringing in Trevor to do some old school teaching. Okay, Trevor, you said your best topics were going to be 1, keeping your pet band in time during a basketball game when other music is playing at the same time.
Correct.
Okay? Then the other is describe the emotional drill writing process.
Ooh, yes.
Mm-hmm. And then 3, how to successfully get through the Midwest Clinic in Chicago.
Got it. Yep, I'm ready. All 3 of those, I can do it.
But everyone, what topic do we think Trevor should do? Like, start, coming at me with things. What
The
should he
basketball
do?
game.
Hat
The
band.
basketball game.
Basketball game.
Yep.
I heard basketball bunch. So I guess you're doing it.
Athletic director, he should be shot.
Balling. Oh no.
Oh, Woody. Okay, so Trevor, you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, so we are going to do keeping your pet band in time during the basketball game with other music playing at the same time. Woody, do you have 60 seconds on your clock?
60 seconds.
You ready?
I'm ready.
60-second tech block. 60 seconds.
Oh my gosh. So, how to keep your band in time, your pet band in time with other music playing loudly in the background. It happens, people. Welcome to the world of pet band. DJs like to play. There's house speakers. Those speakers are going to be louder than your band usually. This is what you have to do. First of all, you better watch that conductor. You better watch those hands, making sure you're following the pattern, making sure you're checking into your flip folder, your music on beam, and checking into the hands. The second thing in pep band you got to do, we all know, you got to listen to that drummer. Feel those strong beats and lock in. That's what you got to do. You got to watch. You got to block all the noise out, the cheering, people hyping you up, that loud, annoying music in the country music in the back. Just shut it off. It's all about the pep band in that moment, playing to the best of his ability. So you got to watch. You got to listen. You got to listen to those drummers. You got to have fun time. If you're the pep band, you're awesome. That's how you do it. I'm out of here.
I like how you tagged me in. He's like, yes, I'm on it.
Lock in.
Y'all thought this was a game, huh? This is me. This is what I do. I pay dozens of dollars a year to do this.
You know, that wasn't bad.
Hey, I'll take it.
And you're right. You better watch that doggone. You better watch the conductor. You better listen to that doggone drummer. And I'll add, you got a bass player. Lock in with them.
Right.
Off the bass. If Dr. Moore says I did a good job, that's good enough for me. I can retire a happy man.
It's always so amazing to listen to the rest of the country because our Northeast corridor, we just don't do these kind of things like that. It's just amazing to hear the different responsibilities for you versus for us here. Like they may one year ask you to come to a playoff basketball game. That's it. No, like the football game. You can play if you want, but we'd rather not have you play. We just want you to be there because
it's just one bodies.
Yeah, it's one bodies.
Ooh.
Shiny things you can shine in the light. Well, y'all, I think that this is a perfect time for us to talk about what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Ooh.
Well, you like that one, huh?
What are we doing?
Got some flavor, right?
Yeah, right there. Look at that.
Well, with what are we doing? You can just sound off about anything in the band world or in the marching arts that, kind of grind your gears. So tongue in cheek, you can go off about it. Let us know. Trevor, what are we doing?
What are we doing? We know that I'm involved with the drum corps with DCI, still teaching the mandarins. But still, I say it every year. What are we doing with these high tour fees? Like drum corps, yeah, boo. Drum corps is such a exclusive activity already. I would love to see us, to help sponsor some members to get these tour fees down, to have corporate sponsors to participate, help students participate, and try to bring down their tour fees so more students can have an opportunity to participate in drum corps. I marched drum corps for a couple of years at the Troopers and have taught over 12 years, dedicating my summers to because I think it's a valuable thing, but we got to get those core fees down so more students can participate in DCI because it's a valuable thing.
Trevor, I will tell you that as an on a water break host, you and me, we're working on that. Not for all of DCI, but we're trying to work on that for some of the performers.
We're doing our part. That's right.
Yes.
You're never going to get it back down to the $600 I paid.
No, sir. No.
Woody, what are we doing?
I tell you what we're doing. As I mentioned earlier, I have a young percussion program and was inspired with the whole indoor drumline thing because I was a color guard person. I had a color guard in high school. I taught color guard for years. And so I always watched color guard. I'm taking these kids to the Philly Regional this weekend. They don't get to complain about, well, we're drummers. No, you need to know how to move. And none of you can move. So you are going to a color guard regional so you can see how it's properly done. Stop crying.
Wow. Good for you, Woody. I stand by that. Being a color guard person on this call, I stand by that 110%. So good for you. So they know what it is you are asking them to do. What are we doing?
You don't know what it is, you ask them to do these things. They've never seen it. They don't understand, at that middle school. I had middle school and high schoolers. They don't really have full control over all their limbs yet. You know, yeah.
All of that.
You put my arm up? Yes. Well, why am I staring at my palm? Because just stare at your palm and run around in circles.
Oh my goodness.
Because I said so.
What are we doing about not teaching? I feel like the younger generation doesn't know, like, because again, I'm a strike percussion. Woo woo. I was in the front ensemble and everything, and I left it all on the floor every time during rehearsal. I performed my heart out. I have been watching recently different groups and everything, and I just don't see the performance, but everyone's trying to make sure they keep their composure, which I get, and control. But it's just like, I want to see that you're having fun. Maybe crack a smile, like something. Like a laugh,
what are
like
we doing having fun?
Mm-hmm. COVID.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You love this. Let us see you love it. Like for real. Yeah. I think, honestly, I really do think that some performers are so in their head and they're just like, if I don't get this and this and this together, if I don't hit this beat on this beat, and it's, it's going to ruin my whole show. And it's just like, you were thinking about something that's like 0.25 seconds long.
Yeah.
But your whole show and your performance through that whole show is going to be as long as your show is. So what, you know what I mean?
Have fun.
It's got to come together. Got to come together. Jacqueline, what are we doing?
So I'm pretty sure we all can relate to this, and I'm going to call my students out, and students all across the world. So my students look at me when I say this: why are you not checking the band app when I post things, or checking your remind or the calendar, and then coming to me the next day saying, what day's the concert? What time do I have to be here? I sent it.
Oh my God,
at
I
5
can't
o'clock.
had that. Oh, Jackie.
Look at it.
I just had
Send it
that
to your
explained.
parents.
Oh.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Dang. It's true. Check it. If you send it out, you're going to take the time to put that together. You know,
Yes.
goodness.
If I
God
take 5
forbid
minutes to
that,
put it together, do it.
Right.
I spent an hour on a document just for you, and then you ask me what time are we meeting? Are you out of your mind? Yes.
Yes.
What are you wearing? What are we wearing?
I'll spend like a whole week making our itinerary and then be like, what time do I have to be at awards? It's right there. Like, check the app. Look at it. Don't ask me. Don't bother me.
I'm like, get out. I'm like, get out.
Yeah.
That way.
Oh, goodness. Dr. Moore, what are we doing?
I want to piggyback on that one a little bit. Why are we waiting until December to join the remind that I created in August that you should have been checking for the last 4 months? I literally just got an email for somebody joined the remind for marching chiefs that hasn't met since November, since Thanksgiving.
You missed everything already.
Man, people of America, what are you doing?
What time is the concert?
Should I bring my instrument?
Yeah. What are we doing at halftime? I love it, Nicole. I love it.
I always just tell them walk away. Walk away.
Great job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Touch and go.
Lisa, I love that you love all of these little inserts. I watch you each time. You're like, oh,
I love it. They're so cute. I just like, I want to perform. Like, I want to like.
I told you we actually have someone that wrote all of that, like specifically for us. So we make sure to let him know. Josh Lida, Delisa.
Hey, can we ask our producer to play the one with the flavor again? She really loved that.
Yeah, hit the flavor.
Well,
what are we doing?
It's just like, it's right there. Like, as a percussionist, I can't not move. What are we doing?
Oh my goodness. Okay, but we're now on what we call Gush and Goes. So with this, y'all, you can be braggadocious about anything you want to. If it's in the marching arts world, band world, in your personal life, you just want to brag, you can do that right now. So we're going to go with Trevor first. Brag on me.
Well, so we had our band banquet at the end of January after the culmination of our year, my first year at Northwestern State University, my alma mater. So it was great to get back to the school that I went to. Forkum Demons, yeah. And we got to tell them in January that we're one of the limited bands, high school and college bands that were selected to march in the St. Patrick's Day parade in the spring of 27. 26 is already full, but we're taking the band to Dublin, Ireland in March of 2027. And most of those kids have not been outside the state of Louisiana or Texas, and their mouths dropped in excitement, and they were cheering and doing the Lucky Charms dance and all this other kind of thing. And they're so excited, especially the younger members who are going to be able to take part in the trip. Even the older members are going to be able to come back as alumni and participate. So, man, I just wanted to gush and go over my band with my Montana Freedom of the World.
Nice. Please let me know if you need a chaperone.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I will go.
I'm down too.
Woody, actually, you're next. Tell me what you're gushing and going about.
Oh man, I hate this part, Nicole, because
Why? You can brag. I told you it's okay.
I'm a humble man. I'm a humble man. I will brag. As you know, I have this new young program, and as a matter of fact, this weekend, all three of my programs came out, and the goal was to get them to at least half of the program by the first show. All three groups made it. And for me, that's amazing because a year ago, they were still learning drill and music a week before championships. So, yeah, I know. It doesn't happen in a lot of places, but this is a major step. And they didn't believe it could be done, staff and kids, and they did it, and I'm very proud of them.
Yeah, I just have to say too, I know that you are already completely on the mend. I knew you were down and out for a little bit, but like you look good, you look well rested, and you've got young kids that you're chasing after. I will tell you, I don't live that life anymore, but good for you, man. Good for you.
You know what? The Woodward family has some kind of like unbreakable gene in them. I am Samuel's little cousin, so
yes,
I'm his reverse person.
You silly. What are you gonna gush and go about?
Oh, me? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to gush and go about, honestly, this. I've been gushing about this. I've been so excited about coming on this podcast just because, there are my students and everything. They're like, you're going to be on a podcast. That's so amazing. And like, I, again, wasn't really confident in coming into being a band director, but it's just like, look, I had to take a look at my life and everything that I have achieved. After losing my mom, my grandma, my stepmom, my grandfather, like I've lost a lot of people, and I thought I wasn't going to get back on the horse just because, like I've been in Florida down here, like by myself since I've been like 20 years old, 21. And it was really difficult to try to find guidance because my mom, again, biggest supporter, but I'm going to gush and go about the journey that that's led me here to you guys.
Delisha, I'm going to go ahead and just put it out there. We just met and we haven't met before, but I can tell by the way you hold yourself and how articulate you are and how smart you are and bright you are. All those people you talked about, I know that they are darn proud of you and they're looking down on you and they're so proud. And I just want to say bravo. And I'm glad we got to connect and got to meet. And whatever you need moving forward, let me know. You have another advocate here. So congratulations to you. Keep doing your thing.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Let's see, Jacqueline. Do you got anything to gush and go about?
I do. We're kind of in the beginning yet middle of our winter season out here, and we've been rebuilding for both our guard and our percussion. And I am happy to say my guard, for the first time in a while, if not ever, maybe they got second place last weekend, and my concert percussion. They've been getting first place these last couple competitions. They're ready to go up against the other high schools and a really good middle school that competes against high schools. Like they're ready to go, and this is going to be our first year also going up to WGI. So we're just like we're ready. So
your percussion's going to WGI?
Yes, we're going to be at the Union City show. Hopefully, we're still working out finances, but we're still going to Union City show.
Okay. Well, honestly, I will keep an eye out for when that comes out on social media. Oh, good for you. I'm so glad that you are that band director that's, you're in it with your guard and you're in it with your percussion. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right.
It's
And then we
time.
have Devin. Oh, sorry. And then we have Devin. What are you gushing and going about?
Yeah, I'm working on finishing a wonderful year at Florida State. Coming back home has been really, really special for me. I got 2 degrees from Florida State. I get to work with one of the best colleagues that somebody could ask for, my partner in crime, David Flack. He's incredible. He was one of my favorite teachers while I was here. I stuck to his hip while I was in grad school, and now I get to call him friend and get to work with him and watch him work and interact with students, and that's awesome.
Oh, good. Well, I actually want to gush and go about this episode because honestly, it's a long time coming. And honestly, I'm probably older than you all are. I was born in the 1900s. But when I was in high school, I played clarinet first. Obviously, everyone plays clarinet first. But then I saw that all of the solos went low brass player. So then I started to play baritone. Played baritone all through high school. Yes, made all state, made all region. Then I went to a drum corps. I'm not going to say which one. And it kind of shattered that for me. And I was just like, I don't want to be that person anymore. However, I did have really good band directors when I was coming up, but I just always wondered how different it would have been if I had a female Black woman standing in front of me. And now you are actually being that representation to a lot of younger kids. And I'm all about that. The influence starts when they can see themselves in front of them. And you are actually doing it. And the way that you're doing it, because all 3 of you have such different personalities, but it all works for what you're doing. And honestly, you don't need me to say this, but please, sisters, keep doing it. Please keep doing it because you're going to influence the next group coming in. I also want to gush about just this whole month episodes. We've had such a good time just connecting. And I'm serious. Every time I connected with somebody new who was Black in the marching arts, I never knew. So I'm just meeting all these new people. And it's just like, oh gosh, I just wish it was just so much. I wish so much. But honestly, I think my heart is full for this month of who I've been able to meet. And I'm very happy and thankful to have met you all.
I'm with you there.
It's called Gush and Go, not Gush and Stay. Let's go.
All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for a great rehearsal this week. And what a great way to wrap up Black History Month and kick off Women's History Month. Thank you, Woody and Trevor. I want to thank Ricardo for helping out all month long, too, with the programming for Black History Month. Also, thank you to our GLUS clinicians this week, and good luck with your seasons and the rest of the school year. Actually, we want to know what your socials are. So, Delisa, where can we find you on social media?
Well, you can find me on Facebook, just Delisa Rufus, or you could find me on Instagram. I believe it's Dericious.
Okay. Jacqueline, I know we always ask you this, but where are the other places that we can find you? And you can always tell us that the obvious one is too, again.
So I'm on TikTok, Instagram, low-key kind of Facebook, still not officially yet YouTube, but it's all that band teacher lady, some sort of variation. So that underscore band teacher underscore lady. I've been a little bit off right now because I'm in my master's program, but I should be back soon. But you can find me at any of those places.
Okay. All right. And Dr. Moore, where can we find you?
So yeah, on Facebook is DevinL.Moore. On Instagram, either as DLM12_3 or at the Chocolate Maestra. That is spelled TheChocolatemaestra. Either one of those, you can find me.
And then give a quick shout out to where we can find information on the Black Female Band Directors page or website.
Yeah, so on Facebook, if you search Association of Black Women Band Directors, our page should come up, as well as on Instagram. On Instagram, the name is Association of Black Women Band Directors, and we have a website. So if you Google Association of Black Women Band Directors, that should pop up as well.
You got a question or a good topic? you want to talk to us about, you email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com or find us on social media and DM us if you want to be on the show. We even have a form you can fill out now if you want to be a guest. We love having people on the podcast. So check that out. The link is in our bio on social media. You could just take a phone out and video yourself and then send it to us, and maybe you'll see yourself on the podcast soon. One more thing, don't forget, we have a YouTube channel now, so that many of these interviews will be full video editions. So go and subscribe so you don't miss those. Also, before you close out of your podcast listening app, go subscribe, write us a review, share it, share it with a friend, and then follow us. You can follow us on social media at On a Water Break, and we'll see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Ream. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.